Hello everyone, and welcome to another brand new episode on my channel, Wonder Boho Book Club. Today I'll be discussing the book, The Body is Not an Apology, The Power of Radical Self-Love, written by Sonya Renee Taylor. Sonya Renee Taylor is an author, poet, spoken word artist, speaker, humanitarian and social justice activist, educator, and founder of The Body is Not an Apology movement. In The Body is Not an Apology, Sonya offers radical self-love as the cure for our society's ills. She tells us to reconnect with our deeply rooted origins, which includes rebelling against unequal power structures like capitalism and media. As we confront our self-inflicted body-shaming behaviours, we feel motivated to try and change other people's attitudes about their bodies as well, thereby interrupting social systems that perpetuate body shaming. Being kind to ourselves brings the opportunity for change, including changes that have to do with more fair, equitable, and compassionate societies. Before moving ahead, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Part 1. Radical Self-Love. When it comes to self-love, most of us tend to think about self-esteem or self-acceptance, but radical self-love is much more than either of these. For example, just because someone is confident or self-possessed doesn't automatically mean they're oozing with love. They may have high self-esteem, but that's not the be-all and end-all of a loving life. Also, radical self-love is more than just self-acceptance. Think of all the times when you let something happen to you, in spite of you wishing otherwise. Those moments may not have been enjoyable or inspiring to you, but you let them happen anyway. This is not the true meaning of self-acceptance. It's important for us, as individuals and a society, to treat ourselves with love and respect. According to the author, radical self-love is about taking more responsibility for the conditions of our lives. It's about making the actual, tangible changes we want and need. By claiming our right to pleasure and joy, instead of just accepting them as given, the practice of radical self-love becomes a catalyst for personal transformation. It's not enough to say, "I love myself" anymore. We have to pay attention to what it means to love ourselves in ways that align with our values. Part 2. Celebrate your body as well as other bodies. To love your body, it's important to remember that the negative thoughts you may harbor about your body are not your own. Did you worry about how chubby your arms looked when you were a teenager? These ideals are imposed from without. We don't create them. They come to us as feedback or criticism. These judgments aren't based on the truth, but on constructs which inhabit our minds. Furthermore, loving your body can benefit others. Liking and celebrating what you have can set an example for the impressionable children around you and friends to do the same. It's important for our society to teach people to accept themselves and others. We can practice radical self-love by appreciating all body types. Everyone has a unique body type, and it's important to create a culture in which no one feels the need to compare themselves with others. Part 3. Body Shame. Have you ever been ashamed of your body? Think about the moment when you felt ashamed of your body for the first time. Lots of people experience body shame for a variety of reasons, with most experiencing it during childhood or puberty. They may have had an obvious shift in their physical appearance, which then became the focal point for what they didn't like about themselves. Since we are at our most vulnerable when we are growing up, it's no wonder that many of us start to feel ashamed about the way our bodies look early on in life. Studies involving adults and teens have found that the majority of people start feeling ashamed about the way they look when they are around 13 or 14 years old, or even younger. Girls can get called ugly and fat, and boys might get teased for being small or thin. For gender non-conforming kids, their self-expression is usually frowned upon. Part 4. Media and capitalism reinforce body shaming. We all wish to look beautiful, and many of us dream of being on the cover page of a beauty magazine. As it happens, it's not an entirely outlandish idea. Beauty standards are always evolving, and this means you could be the face of beauty like anyone else. Beauty ideals depend a lot on where we live, which means someone living in a more affluent society may have different beauty expectations to someone living in poverty. For example, in the 16th and 17th centuries, people used to find fat bodies attractive and beautiful because it symbolized wealth and abundance. Society's definition of gender has changed over the centuries. Millennia ago, Hatshepsut, a female ruler in ancient Egypt, attended her coronation dressed as a man to show she intended to rule like her male predecessors and that she was indeed a legitimate pharaoh. However, the subjectivity of beauty and gender are often countered by the media and corporations, mostly because of financial reasons. The media and society in general place so much emphasis on physical beauty that it becomes a vicious cycle of "your body isn't good enough" or "just buy our products to make yourself look better." The cosmetic industry brings in billions of dollars worth of revenue each year from adverts and people buying their products. To listen to more interesting summaries, please subscribe to my channel. Part 5. Reducing media consumption. It sounds like a difficult feat to change the way we think of ourselves, but there are some easy ways to get there. One method is by reducing our media intake. Media is such a big part of our lives nowadays that it's hard to remember what life was like beforehand. Recent studies have shown that people, especially in the Western world, spend almost half their waking time engaged in some form of media. It's important for us to pay attention to what kind of media we consume, because more often than not, media is responsible for injecting negative self-image into our minds. Cutting down on your media intake essentially means you should limit your time on Netflix, Twitter, YouTube, etc. This might seem difficult at first, but you should assess these programs shown on the platforms objectively to see if they portray stereotypes regarding body, beauty, gender, etc. By doing so, you will be able to see the negative aspects of these shows more clearly, and it will be easier for you to stop watching them. Part 6. Get actively involved with your body. In order to achieve a better understanding of your body, you need to get to know it well. The best way to do this is by familiarizing yourself with what makes your body special. Human body is nothing short of a miracle. Once you pay close attention to your body and see its delicate structure as well as all the amazing feats it's able to accomplish, you will be in awe of yourself. The next step is to get active with your body. Dancing, sports, and exercising can all be great for your body. Remember, this isn't about changing or losing weight. It's about having fun with what your body already does. Part 7. Confronting your implicit bias. Whether we admit it or not, we all take part in body shaming. However, it's not entirely our fault, as we are taught these behaviors at a young age by watching others around us. Kids often learn from watching the grown-ups in their lives. If your parents whispered and stared at people who dress differently than you do, you might think this is the appropriate way to act socially. You also learn these behaviors from school. For example, school kids often bully those who might be wearing dental braces. Having some degree of internal bias is pretty common among all of us. However, In order to stop things like body shaming happening, we need to recognize these biases and try and correct them. Most of the time, these biases stem from our unconscious mind, which is why it's difficult to stop them. This phenomenon is known as implicit bias. For example, the main reason people are instinctively hostile towards somebody they have never met is due to implicit bias, which means you're not always even aware it's happening. These biases are the result of our tendency to make quick judgments about people based on their similarity to us. Thus, we need to address these implicit biases inherent in us in order to accept others for who they are. Part 8. Practice meditation. In order to practice self-love, we need to change the way we talk about ourselves. Society often encourages us to stay humble, but it's important to admire and recognize your qualities. There is a big difference between being vain and self-loving. Self-love allows you to feel confident without being overly competitive with other people around you. It's also good to practice meditation. Sometimes we can talk negatively about ourselves, which is bad for our self-esteem, and meditation can help to change that about ourselves. Meditation is a powerful tool that can help with reducing your stress, improving self-awareness, and clear thinking. What's more, it helps develop positive feelings and a sense of well-being. While meditation won't give you a quick fix to all problems in life, it will support you on your journey to wellness, and that includes learning to value your body. Conclusion. Body shaming starts young and is reinforced by society. Becoming aware of our biases and the impacts from other factors like capitalism and the media can help us find our way back to radical self-love. By getting actively involved with our body and changing the way we talk about ourselves and others, we become more accepting of everyone in their entirety and set an example for others to follow. Thank you for watching this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe. Your likes, comments, and shares are highly appreciated. See you soon in our next episode.